We're going to find out if Ostkaka's only going to play control from here on forward, but RDU's got to adjust to something. The onus is on him because game number 3 is getting underway right now, and Ostkaka's on match point for the next 3 games. Yeah, I think it would do wonders for his psyche going forward in this event if he could just, wrap it up right here. I mean, it looks like Ostkaka's once again kind of gotten the better of him. We've seen this Tempo Mage deck really put a lot of hurt on Warrior. They focus on these weapons to get the job done, but with Mirror Image in your hand, that will oftentimes counteract the entire weapon. Yeah, and I mean, look at RDU. He's scrambling. It feels like to me that he's scrambling to figure out what to do in this matchup. Oh, now, I will say that RDU is very well known for being a strong all-around player. Something like Control Warrior, right up his alley. I mean, early on, like I'm even thinking back to like WCA China. I remember one of the decks that he was having the most success with at the time was Control Warrior. Now, Ostkaka could have, coined out an Apprentice here and then played Mirror Image, but he chose not to do it. Maybe looking to get an early Goblin Blast Mage if, the situation presents itself. Yeah, that's actually really interesting to me because we're seeing Sorcerer's Apprentice, we saw Flamewaker in here, and he's also got Goblin Blast Mage. Like, what mechs is he running? He might have something like Snow Chugga, which would be like really good in this matchup. But we also saw the one-drop Clockwork Gnome as well. So yeah, I mean, but that's not a ton of mechs. I mean, I'm curious exactly what the rest of this build is. I mean, you're looking at Flame Cannon, Arcane Intellect, Sorcerer's Apprentice, Mirror Image, Flamewaker. Like, how many mechs could possibly be in here? That's already 10 cards. Maybe this is actually just Mech Mage with Flamewaker in it. That's a possibility, but then you also have to take a look at Sorcerer's Apprentice and whatever this, and Unstable Portal. Maybe just because he figures it's a good enough drop at the 4, like, yeah, it is a 5/4
It's still a 5/4,
and sometimes they get additional value from it. I think that's totally fine.
Yeah, I think he's going to lead off of Unstable Portal here, and we're going to spin the wheel.
Yep, I actually would. Ooh. Oh, geez, that can be very dangerous versus Control Warrior.
He's got Jeeves in this deck. That is his mech.
This deck actually looks like it's geared to beat control decks. If you look at the way that this is built, and right now it is going to end up looking really fantastic. Good right now, RDU's going to have to face off against a Trogzor, but he has Brawl in his hand to actually fight against it. That's one of the better cards versus that.
So we're going to get to see another awesome Brawl moment here where, one of the 3 or 4 minions left over is really backbreaking.
Yeah, Trogzor, every time your opponent casts a spell, you summon a Burly Rockjaw Trog. A 3/5 that gets +2 power every time your opponent casts a spell.
Yes,
These guys hate spells.
This card is a nightmare if you're playing a control deck.
Yeah, so, I mean, I fully expect Brawl to happen this turn. He's got to get the board under control, but it's so scary if Trogzor actually wins the Brawl.
Yeah, if Trogzor wins the Brawl, it's going to be really hard for RDU to win going forward. He doesn't have an Execute in his hand, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance he just goes with Acolyte of Pain and Armorsmith.
Yeah, well, also he drew Execute this turn, so there's a chance that he just goes Acolyte of Pain, Armorsmith, attacks, and then, I'm sorry, he could use his Death Spike going forward to gain some advantage and to use his Execute.
Yeah, Flamewaker gets picked up for Ostkaka, and just such a world of options for him. So much potential in this hand that he can unlock. How does he dictate his resources in this position?
So, there's a chance he's going to start off with something like Flame Cannon, but he might attack and then Flame Cannon just to take care of what RDU is doing as cleanly as possible, give him the least amount of cards and the least amount of armor. It doesn't give up too much here. He's not missing out on too much damage. This Flame Cannon, usually not amazing in this matchup. There's a lot of minions that it doesn't even really do much against out of RDU's deck here, and you definitely don't want to be, holding on to it and relying on it and Flamewaker against a deck that has Armorsmith and Acolyte of Pain.
Yeah, Flamewaker versus an Acolyte of Pain is a little bit of a dangerous prospect, so I do like the sequencing here of attacking first and then Flame Cannoning. Make sure you clear the board, get a couple extra points of damage out of this, and once again,
he's gonna go upstairs with everything here.
Yeah, and RDU finds himself in a spot where he's really got to win this brawl, or this game is going to snowball completely out of control. But, Ostkaka's hand looking kind of miserable if RDU gets past this in a safe point.
Yeah, if RDU gets past this in a safe point, he's going to be okay. But if Ostkaka gets to push any more damage through in this game, these 2 fireballs are going to be a little bit too much for RDU.
Yeah, 3/5 going to be added to the board, and then this brawl is going to get underway. 20% chance to lose this for RDU.
There's a couple of really good ones left over.
Yeah, and that's going to be one of the better ones for him, I would say, is just leaving a 3/2 behind.
Yeah, RDU could pick this off with his weapon if he wants. I can't believe he passes this up.
Yeah, he needs to just get the damage from the control right now. He's already at 19. If he lets that Sorcerer's Apprentice stick around, some really terrible things can be happening to him. And Ostkaka does have some reload potential here. Again, Goblin Blast Mage just as a 5/4 minion, not the worst here. RDU doesn't have a clean answer to it.
Yeah, he's also can just, put a Mana Worm into play as well, so when he starts firing off these fireballs, he gets some added value out of them going forward.
Yep, so he's going to, at this point, RDU has to continue to use his weapons unless he draws something like Shield Slam. I mean, there's a possibility Shield Maiden just gets added to this board, but I fully expect him to Death Spite here. He's in this basically the same position he was last turn. He has to use his life total if he wants to get things under control, but that risk continues to build.
All right, this is going to put him down to 14, and he's going to go up to 16. The 2 fireballs will put him. Is this
Well, it's not lethal if...
Oh, he's going to execute.
Yeah,
okay.
it's not lethal if he does it this way. I actually kind of really like this play, conserving his life total as much as he can. You know, looking at how heavy his hand is, this play makes all the sense in the world. If he just recovers, he finds himself in a fantastic position. So using his resources inefficiently actually isn't that bad of a play here.
Yeah, and you may see Ostkaka actually fireball and then coin out Jeeves here just to draw an extra card.
Yeah, a 1/4 that draws extra cards. You know, he just saw RDU replace his second Death Spite as well. There's a very low chance that he's able to kill it short of something like a Ragnaros shot or a Gromish. So I really like that he's doing this as well, but this is going to open the window for RDU to maybe start taking control of this game. This looks like a spot to me where you want to Gromish.
Yeah, this is a great Grom turn as well, actually.
Yeah, but he spots it right away. I mean, a 10-power minion for Ostkaka is going to be a lot of trouble here. This puts him on a 3-turn clock. He has to do something now.
This is actually just a great way for you to make the... This is what I like about these kind of control decks. They live, then they kill you very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, in the way that Ostkaka's hand is built right now, I don't think that he can actually go after this Grom. I think he's got to hope he puts together stuff like Frost Bolts and maybe gets in some minion attacks to get this job done. If he finds RDU at a spot where he's playing Shield Maidens and playing Shield Blocks, the game gets completely out of reach. He's not going to be able to stop all of his endgame.
Yeah,
threats.
he can't use this Fireball to take care of this Grom. He has to pretty much just, you know, take his beats on this chin here and then just try to get in any more damage he can in this game and hope this Fireball is going to be enough. Maybe top deck something like a Frostbolt, like you said.
I totally agree with you. He might choose the Flame Cannon here to put a lot of tension on RDU if he feels like he needs to attack minions with this Grom, but not to say that he's going to use it. The other thing it would do is it would get 1 card out of his hand. Maybe if he draws like a second Jeeves or something, he can pick up some more cards.
Yeah, but holding onto it might be better, you know, sometimes in the second Flamewaker spot as well.
Ysera in RDU's deck too here. This deck is clearly geared towards the late game. I'm wondering exactly why he was trying to target the late game here since Ostkaka's been swinging so aggressively so far.
He probably had this deck built already coming into this match and was ready for what he perceived Ostkaka was going to be doing.
Yeah, so Shield Maiden going to get added. He's going to go up to 14 and then 16 from Armor Up.
Archmage Antonidas would be a pretty good draw here.
Yeah, I mean, with Finicky Cloak Field in your hand, that's about one of his ways to win. He's got 9 points of damage, 10 points with his hero power, but no minion pressure to add to the board. And once again finds himself in a spot where he's on a 3-turn clock from this Grom.
Yeah, and RDU's going to be able to play another Shield Maiden and Armor Up again next turn.
Yeah, and at this point, like now that he's got the Finicky Cloak Field in his hand, he's in this position where he has no minion pressure. I think it actually makes a lot of sense to fireball this Grom and hope that you draw Archmage Antonidas.
And you're going to see RDU Armor Up every turn for the rest of the game. Until he gets to a really, really clean spot, you'll probably won't see this Ysera ever hit the board here.
Yeah, that's basically a dead draw for Ostkaka, and at this point, I think it's a matter of going through the motions. He cannot fight off this minion pressure in the coming turns here. I mean, just so much going to be added to the board for RDU, and every single step of the way gets him further and further out of reach.
Yeah, this is the nail in the coffin pretty much here.
I'm even going to use Cruel Taskmaster just to get extra pressure going. And why not? I mean, his Grom's already gone. He's got the board completely under control. What can Ostkaka do to recover from this position?
There's no draw in his deck.
There's nothing in here that can deal 25 damage or extend this pressure. Maybe Deathwing could pull him out of this situation.
Well, you had to draw it there. This Arcane Influx can't get
One day someone's going to draw a Deathwing, but it just would have gotten Big Game 100 here. So he's going to try to draw what he can and try to cling on to dear life. You know, we never see Ostkaka give up, and I love that.
Yeah, you know, I'm not a big fan of when people concede early in games, and yeah, again, I like this from
just
Ostkaka.
Take your beating, man.
Yeah.
Just let him deal the damage. That's really all you can do. He's gonna scoop this one up. Wants to just get move on to the next game, but you know, again, RDU's earned this one. Let him deliver that final blow.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what we're seeing what happens here with the Tempo Mage deck. When it loses because it runs out of you know, minion pressure in the mid to late game, and then it has these fireballs left over its hand or frostbolts that are there to finish the game, but you haven't gotten them low enough just yet.
Yeah, it needs to have gas in the tank to be able to get that last mile there, but you know, there's one deck that pretty much always has gas in the tank, and it's Control Warrior. If it finds itself playing a paced game, it is so difficult to beat, and I think it's one of the reasons why RDU chose to go with that deck. If you guys want to see how this game panned out on the recap, you can head over to pvplive.net and check it out for yourself. The full stats breakdowns, everything that they played in this game, the strategies they played in the past, and what they maybe intend to play in the future. So now RDU on the first step to completing the reverse sweep. We haven't seen very many of them so far in HPL, and he's got 2 more games to go if he wants to get it done. But first, he has to take out Ostkaka. Don't go anywhere, guys. When we come back, Game 4 is going to be getting underway. You're watching Hearthstone on PvP Live.